Despite Arsenal not making many signings this summer, Arsenal start the season this weekend looking to fight for the title once again. And one of the key players over the summer window has been Oleksandr Zinchenko, with many fans, including myself, talking about the potential of him to leave. But after his standout performances in pre-season, he looks like he can offer a lot to the team. So let's get into why he can be so effective and how he has stated his claim for a start in the first game of the season. So let's get into it. Now, I have to be honest here, when the summer came up and it was rumours that we were going to sign Ricardo Calafiori, I thought Zinchenko's time at Arsenal was coming to an end. He struggled to get into the team, especially near the end of last season, even when he was fit, and most of the time his defensive worries really made us struggle in 1v1 situations and didn't do enough going forward to warrant his place within the team. However, despite this, it seems like him and Gabriel Jesus especially have taken on the criticism that has been up from them from the last few years, and in pre-season have looked more alive and really good, coming back into the team and probably having a start this weekend. Now, Zinchenko still doesn't look like the best defender in the world. He still struggles sometimes in 1v1s and players coming inside of him, but going forward he has seemed much more confident, much more alert on the ball, and much more sharper at making good passes and making great decisions when we need it to create chances going forward. And with obviously the signing of Calafiori and Timber being fit now, and while Lewis Skelly's also been getting minutes, Zinchenko needs to perform well because he's a lot of competition for his spot, which we could easily see him drop out of the side. However, specifically in the two Emirates Cup games against Bayer Leverkusen and Lyon, I think Zinchenko has been one of the best players on the pitch, and I think Arteta will definitely trust him going into the start of the season. Now, one of the major problems that Arsenal have had last season is definitely the left-hand side. The right-hand side with Odegaard and Saka has had to do most of the heavy lifting, and it has made Arsenal quite predictable when they're attacking because most of the pressure is going to come down from there. However, we have definitely tried to change the balance up, at least in the first friendly games. Against Bayer Leverkusen, Zinchenko played with Havertz in that midfield position, who obviously roamed around and didn't really play in that specific role, but also would help the winger. And Trossard played in left wing, being able to come deeper at times to help Havertz progress behind him, and also go long as well, being very good dribbler. Now, Zinchenko had a brilliant relationship with these two players and worked really well off him. There's a few times that he would invert and then change his position to create some width for Arsenal, where he would put a ball through to someone like Havertz who's making that run from deep. This allowed him to be able to get up in forward positions, and him and Trossard worked really well at making sure that they got into these positions to help Havertz, and this is how he scored his first goal, putting it into the corner. Now, these three had a really good relationship at creating multiple triangles going forward, and it just gave a lot more freedom to Arsenal, a lot more balance, and meant that they could create attacks as well as Odegaard on the other side. Now, against Lyon, he also was amazing, and the fundamental reason was he also created them triangles on the left side. He originally played with Martinelli and Declan Rice at the start, and many times where Declan Rice would peel off and go in the overlap or the underlap, and Martinelli would also come inside with Havertz helping as well. Zinchenko often dictated play and actually went into the centre a lot, into the left half space of the pitch, which is something Arsenal have been missing. This is where he was able to put so many incisive passes through, where sometimes they didn't come off, but he was able to step up into pressure and be able to put the ball around the defender multiple times. This got Martinelli and Havertz in a lot. In this game, he also had a massive attacking ability, even being just at the edge of the box or just inside it. He kept crossing the ball in when he got into these positions and would always help with an underlap to whoever was out the wing, if it was Rice or Martinelli who had gone inside. And something that has clearly been taught to them is that Zinchenko kept aiming for a back post cross. This is something that we haven't really done on the left side ever, because Arsenal usually get Saka to do it on the other side to the back post, where someone like Trossard or Martinelli would try to get in. It's definitely been something they've been working on, because at the back post multiple times was Saka. He hit the post from one chance and almost scored from another, and there was many chances where Zinchenko would do a brilliant pull first time and it would almost go to him in the pass there. And despite Zinchenko trying to create many chances, he had good passing stats. He made 47 out of 52 passes, however, and created 4 chances, and this was mostly because he had runners such as Martinelli and Havertz who wanted to keep making them runs, and he could pick them out with his brilliant interplay there. His 13 passes into the final third and 3 out of 4 accurate crosses and 5 out of 8 accurate long balls. Just him picking the ball up for anywhere on the pitch and trying to put a through ball through when Lyon had a high line. This can be very helpful to get Arsenal on the pitch very quickly, and he does have the technical ability to do good passes and get Martinelli a lot in them 1v1s, which we finally saw him in. Now, Zinchenko is honestly the perfect player when you're going to have so much pressure pressure, he can come into the middle and dictate play. He can also put the ball out wide, having that progression that we needed to that left side that we were struggling with a lot of our players there. And he isn't afraid to necessarily pick the ball up and run with it. He doesn't really go into defenders, but if there is space, he will try and take that and go forward. He's a very incisive player that will make quick passes if he feels like it's a good opportunity, and has a very good technical ability as well. And as a technical ability, it's very good when you're getting pressed, where he can go past players and pass it off when he's confident, and he definitely looks very much more confident now than he has been before. He's the player that you do want to pass the ball back to because you know that you're probably not going to lose it, and he is usually going to keep the things ticking along, which is exactly what Arsenal needed, especially on that left hand side. Now, I do think his attacking work in these friendlies have been better than what he showed last year and back to when we signed him, but obviously the defensive work is something that everyone is going to talk about. Now, there's a few times where a really pacey winger can get in behind him. He isn't the quickest, and he's also not the best tackler, winning about average duels per game and getting contested in them, and also not really putting too many tackles up because I don't think he's really supposed to. And with Zinchenko, you've got to take the positives and the negatives differently. If the positives are so high, then you can play him in different games, and I think with his performances they definitely have been a lot more than they were before. Now, I still would not play him against elite winger. We've seen what Salah did to him, we've seen what other wingers can do to him as well, where they go one-on-one against him and can easily go past him. But him being left-footed and him being able to progress the ball to the wingers, it now looks like, does help our progression a lot more than we needed it to, and obviously if we sign someone like Marino, that would help as well. Now, I think Arsenal this season will probably do this sort of system when they're playing teams that they expect to beat a little bit more, teams that don't have necessarily elite wingers that are going against Zinchenko, and teams that are in the top 6. You can definitely expect to see a bit more of Zinchenko in left back and Rice, Partey or Havertz even in midfield. I think when push comes to shove though, and when Arsenal will play some harder games such as Villa away in the second game of the season, you may see Arsenal go for a Calafiori sort of run where he can still progress the ball with the running more than necessarily the passing, but he's a better 1v1 defender in full and is a better physical man there, as Zinchenko is not like that player. And Zinchenko works the best when you have complete control on the team, and when he's going to work in that left hand half space that we have seen people like Ben White do on the right side, the fact you can have that adaptation in game to have him go even to the byline or deeper with the crosses, and then Ben White on the other side do that, gives Arsenal so much more balance and so much more unpredictability to their attack. But obviously you have to be careful when you use a weapon like him. Ultimately, I think I was completely wrong about Zinchenko going into this season. I did think that what I saw last year wasn't good enough, which I still think is true, but he has really come with a vengeance in this pre-season tour and looks like he wants to fight for his place. And he's always been a weapon going forward, but when he can give us a lot more balance and actually pick up them crossing positions a lot more and, you know, put them crosses into the back post, I think he's really going to become a big asset for us this season. I just still don't want him to play in the top 6 teams, which is completely fine. He can rotate within the squad and we can play someone like Timber or Calafiori. Let me know what you guys think about Zinchenko in the comments. I do think that he will stay with the club, and I think he should do right now, and will most likely sell someone like Kivior, which I think makes more sense anyway. And let me know if you think he should start this weekend, or if you would like to see Calafiori or someone else start in that left back spot. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe for any more Arsenal videos, and I'll see you in the next one.